As we welcome you back, we are getting set for game two between Pierre and Box Elder, as both teams will be, Pierre will be taking the field here shortly, but we'll be having the Eights take the field, but then Box Elder getting set here for game number two of our doubleheader. As John Wickler alongside Blake Dean, we can go through the starting lineups here for both Box Elder and for opposed state. For Box Elder, Ian Beer will lead things off. He is the third baseman. Mason Brooks will bat second. He is the shortstop. Cooper Morling, the second baseman, will bat third. Paxton Fisher, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Tegan Smith, the left fielder, batting fifth. Spencer Johansson, the DH, will bat sixth. Colton Morling, the right fielder, batting seventh. Ethan Wilson, the center fielder, batting eighth. And batting ninth will be Bobby Steffi, with Will Waddell being the pitcher. Steffi will be the catcher, and Waddell not in the batting order, but will be the pitcher here in game number two. For opposed state, Nolan Peterson will lead things off again. He is catching. Sun and Shine is batting second and playing left field. Carter Shufflebein will bat third. He is playing second base. Grayson Hunsley will bat fourth. He is a third baseman. Charlie Simpson, the DH, will bat fifth. Dawson Guest, the shortstop, will bat sixth. Gunnar Edson will play right field. He will be the number 7 man. J.J. Buckholz will bat eighth and play first base. And George Stalley will round out the order, batting ninth and playing center field with Cooper Twilliger on the mound as the Eights are taking the field. And we are just about set here for first pitch between Pierre and Box Elder. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean as Twilliger will take the mound, and the Eights will be looking for their second straight win, get a sweep of Box Elder Post 315, as they are now 4-12 in South Dakota games. And this, again, an all-important second game here, Blake, for the Eights to get a win and to get this doubleheader sweep and to feel good going into this week. Obviously, these two games, two sets of doubleheaders, Wednesday, Thursday, don't count for South Dakota games, but very important week for the Eights coming up.
Yeah, it is. And you look at the schedule, kind of like we talked about at the end of the first game. A lot of opportunities for the Eights to put some tallies in the left-handed win column. You look at game 2 here this afternoon. You look at a Harrisburg Maroon. You look at the Renner Sultans. Just opportunities for this post-8 squad to build some positive momentum in this back half of the season, and build some good vibes and some positive energy going into the playoff rounds. They'll likely have to travel regardless of how they end up, but to go into a place and win a game or a series is not uncommon. We saw that a couple of years ago when Post State in 2021 went to play, or sorry, 2022, excuse me, went to go play Renner as the number 9 seed. Renner was the number 8 seed, so Pierre went out to Renner to play the Royals and came out with a series sweep, winning both games, one on Friday and one on Saturday. So not out of the realm of possibility for this post-8 squad to do the same thing, go on the road and win a series and get to the state tournament, but it all starts with winning one game at a time and building positive momentum as the season comes to an end here.
Ian Beer will lead things off here for Post 315 against Cooper Twilliger as we are set and ready to go here for game 2 of our doubleheader, as the Eights are down to their final 5 home games of the regular season. As the first pitch, a swing and a miss as we are underway here at 4:16 of game number 2. The game time temperature right at 76 degrees here in Pierre. Here's the 0-1. That is going to miss just a bit inside. The count's now 1-1. Sunny skies here at Hyde Stadium. Winds out of the northwest at 11 miles an hour. As we're underway here in game 2. The 1-1 pitch. It'll miss outside. The count's now 2-1. And just like it kind of has been for most of these doubleheaders with Miles Doyle and Cooper Twilliger going one after another, Twilliger actually has, I said, Doyle with the team high in innings. Right now, yes, that is true, but when I said it was untrue, because Twilliger's got 30 innings, as it counts now 3-1 here to lead off, man. He is 2-3 in the season. This is his 7th start as well. 28 hits, 20 runs, 14 of them earned, 21 walks, 17 strikeouts, an ERA at 3.27 and a whip at 1.63. Batting average against that 257 as a first Batter of the game will ground back to Terwilliger. He's able to backhand and throw to first to retire Ian Beer, and that is how we start game number 2 with a 1-3 ground out. And it brings up Mason Brooks, the shortstop here in game 2 for this post 315 team.
Yeah, Terwilliger, one of those guys that, he's got the stuff to overpower a lot of hitters, but, only 17 strikeouts coming into this outing as the ball is fouled off by the hitter number 10 in Brooks. But, he's got the stuff to overpower you, but a lot of guys, the way he's gotten his outs this year has been, soft contact at the fielders as he hangs a curveball and Brooks swings right underneath it for strike 2 here in this top of the first.
0-2 count here to Mason Brooks, who in game number 1 went 0 for 2 with a walk. 0-2 pitch. Swinging a foul ball. Brooks was well behind that on that swing, but was able to get just enough of it as it ricocheted off the bricks and then rolled all the way over to the first baseman, J.J. Buckles. As the count stays at 0-2 here with 1 out in the top of the second. Terwilliger looking for his first strikeout. The Yates had 5 in game number 1. There is a swing, and just getting a piece of it again was Brooks on the curveball. The count remains at 0-2.
And the biggest thing with Terwilliger in this outing, just like any other, is, staying consistent in the strike zone, pounding the strike zone consistently, because numbers-wise, he does have more walks than strikeouts on the year, as that pitch is outside for ball 1 here to Brooks. But if Terwilliger can continuously pound the zone when he needs to, obviously it's nice to get guys to chase a little bit, throw one out of the zone every once in a while, but if he continuously pounds the zone, he will be just fine, as that one misses just outside and maybe a little bit up to make it a 2-2 count here.
So from 0-2, Brooks has fouled off 2 pitches and now gets it to a 2-2 count. The pitch, swing and a miss, and a strikeout. First one of the ball game for Terwilliger. 2 down here in the top of the first, and we'll bring up the number 3 hitter in Cooper Morling as we go around the horn defensively with Sun and Shine out in left, George Stalley in right, and Gunnar Edson, make that in center. Gunnar Edson is in right. Grayson Hunsley at third, Dawson Getz at short, Carter Shufflebein at second, J.J. Buckles at first, and Nolan Peterson behind the plates as Terwilliger delivers the first pitch, and that one will be popped up right around home plate. Cooper Terwilliger will call for it. He'll come off the mound, make the catch in a 1-2-3 inning for Terwilliger here in the top of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. No score between Pierre and Boxelder as the Eights will come to the plate. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre. Brought to you by Limebach Construction Incorporated, who can build your recreational home or building along the beautiful lower Lake Oahe area. Whether if your hobby is hunting, fishing, travel, or water sports, we can come up with a building design that will fit your interests and expectations. We pride ourselves on using quality products, customer service, and open communication. Limebach Construction is locally owned and operated, serving the Missouri River community since 1994. For area of service and more information, contact Bill Limebach at 605-223-2738. That's 605-223-2738. 738. As we welcome you back here, it is the bottom of the first. No score between Pierre and Boxelder, as it will be the lineup that will follow. Nolan Peterson will lead things off. Sun and Shine will bat second. He's a left fielder. It is Carter Shufflebein, the second baseman, batting third. Grayson Hunsley will bat fourth as the third baseman. Charlie Simpson, the DH, will bat fifth. Dawson Getz, the shortstop, will bat sixth. Gunnar Edson, batting seventh and playing right field. J.J. Buckles, the first baseman, batting eighth. And George Stalley, the center fielder, batting ninth for Post States. And they will go against Will Waddell, who will be making his third start of the season. Sixth appearance overall, 15 and third innings so far. He is 1-1 in his record. 10 hits, 18 runs, 11 of them earned, though. 17 walks, 18 strikeouts. A 5.02 ERA and a whip at 1.76. Batting average against at 192. So Well, he doesn't have a whole lot of strikeouts, a little bit more of right around 1 per inning, which is still pretty good. But overall, it is a spot where he does not allow a lot of base hits against, as Nolan Peterson will step to the plate. So he's been good to get guys to get themselves out. Doesn't have to have the strikeout pitch necessarily, with a batting average of under 200 against him. Here's the first pitch to Nolan Peterson. That'll bounce off the mid of the catcher and Steffi, and then off the umpire. It will be missed for ball 1.
Yeah, Waddell, to your point, John, is going to be one of those guys that is going to induce a lot of contact, but it's going to be weak and probably at fielders more times than not, because to your point, not a lot of strikeouts, but does get the outs as reflected in his statistics there. So look for Post 8 to put the bat on the ball, and hopefully it'll find some holes and maybe some green grass in the outfield here this afternoon or this evening.
Nolan Peterson is 0 for 3 in game number 1 as he counts 3-0. He reached on an error but also grounded out and flew out in his 5 plate appearances. 0 for 3 but reaching base 3 times. The A's had just 6 hits and 11 runs. They took advantage of the walks and errors that Boxelder had as the pitch will miss. It's a 4-pitch walk to start the ball game for Will Waddell, and Nolan Peterson will be on to kick things off, and it will bring up Sutton Sunshine, the left fielder, who went to 1 for 2, being hit by a pitch twice, once with the bases loaded, and 1 for 2 with a single back in the 3rd inning in game number 1. See if the A's can get some early runs here in game 2. Put the pressure on Boxelder right away, trying to split. They've split a lot of games. They've been right around the 500 mark in South Dakota games. The first pitch is over for strike 1 to Sunshine. But right around the 500 mark, and Spearfish kind of the same way, where a couple weeks ago when they were coming in, they were splitting with everybody, just seemingly going 1 win and 1 loss, whether they felt like they probably should have beat that team twice, whether they should have felt like maybe that team should have beat them twice. They kept splitting with everybody. Same goes for Boxelder. And for Pierre, you don't want to play around and hope that you can just get away with a win. You want to play well in this second game and earn a doubleheader sweep over Boxelder. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Sunshine. That'll miss low for ball 1. Trying to hit the bottom of the zone was Waddell. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sunshine.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You want to be playing your best baseball come into the season, and if Post 8 can come away with a doubleheader sweep here of Boxelder, as that one is in the dirt for ball 2, this would be a big positive momentum boost in the arm of the Eights, and let's look for them to possibly build on that come the last 2 weeks of the season.
2-2 count here to Sunshine, with Peterson leading away from first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Comes inside off the glove, but I think maybe he's seen late by Peterson, so he stays at first base, and the count is now 3-2. When it goes off the glove to the left of the catcher, and especially the right-handed hitter, it's hard to see where that ball is at, where that ball falls. And for Steffi, he kind of get away with one of seeing that Peterson did not take off. 3-2 pitch will be taken for strike 3 at the top of the zone. And Sunshine will strike out looking for the first out here in the bottom of the first. And it will bring up now the number 3 hitter and Carter Shufflebein.
Yeah, just a pitch that was up at the letters on the inner half of the plate. Sunshine looks at it for out number 1, and that brings Shufflebein to the plate. One thing to mention, too, like we talked about, Boxelder only having 10 guys, 1 guy on the bench, 9 in the field, obviously. Another name we have seen very little of as far as the Legion season is concerned, is at least looking at the numbers for Boxelder, is a guy in Jackson Dial who has looked like 2 games so far for Boxelder this summer. Maybe he's on the circuit somewhere along the line, but only a couple of games, and he's played both of his games in the field. As Peterson will look to steal second base, he will do so as the throw from Steffi gets away from Cooper Moore laying at second, but Peterson stays put at second base. But to that point, a guy in Jackson Dial who is committed to play college baseball at Arizona State, when he starts his collegiate career, not on the field for Box Elder this afternoon, and really, like we said, has only played 2 games all year. So a guy who, come the postseason, as that ball went about 50, 55 feet, is Peterson was maybe looking at a hard round at third to score if there was nobody covering, but he does take third on the play regardless. And now we've got a runner at third, do the 8s with 1 out in this bottom of the first, and Scheffelbein still at the plate. But going back to close the book on the Dial situation, he will be a huge difference maker if Box Elder can get him back down the backstretch of the season.
That'll be upstairs on the 2-1 pitch that will get away from the catcher, a wild pitch that will score Peterson to make it a 1-0 lead as the count goes to now 3-1. So a stolen base for Peterson, and then a wild pitch that got him to third, and another wild pitch that scores him. And after a strikeout with Peterson still at first base, Scheffelbein has watched him take a base at a time in each pitch. And now the bases are empty here with a 3-1 count, and that will miss low for ball 4, and Scheffelbein will draw the 1-out walk. That will bring up now Grayson Hunsley. So far, nobody's put the ball in play for Post State, but yet they've scored a run with a walk and striking out looking Sun and Shine, and now another walk to Scheffelbein. And mound visit coming here from Steffi to the pitcher Waddell.
And that's just a good job of recognition there by Steffi to go out there after that rough sequence there from Waddell and just kind of calm him down a little bit, because like you said, Post State manufactures a run off a stolen base, 2 wild pitches that moves Peterson all the way around the diamond, moves him from first to the plate, scoring a run for Post State, and then on the very next pitch, Scheffelbein draws the base on ball, so now we've got another runner on first base. Do the 8s here with Hunsley at the plate.
Pickoff attempt, and back in safely over at first is going to be Scheffelbein. I think one thing to note for the Box Elder side is Cooper Morelang has played second in both games, and you wonder if the arm a little bit still sore from last Tuesday when they beat Brandon Valley in that 3-1 win, because you look at what Cooper Morelang was able to do. That was able to, well, I guess it was Colton Morelang that did pitch last Tuesday because he didn't get the win against Brandon Valley. Or we'll see here exactly who got the win against Brandon Valley, because I thought it was a Morelang that got a win against Brandon Valley. But now looking at the stats, something doesn't add up right. Runner takes off for second. The throw to second is going to be well wide of the bag, as it is a stolen base for Scheffelbein. And it was a stolen base for Scheffelbein, but a swinging strike from Grayson Hunsley. It was Ian Beer that threw 100 pitches and got the win. So you wonder if maybe Beer's arm not feeling great, because again, it's not because he's available to pitch today, and he would be available to pitch again this coming weekend, regardless of where he throws, how many he throws today, as it counts now 2-1. And after a 7-inning performance of beating Brandon Valley, you feel like you'd almost want to throw him again if he was feeling good, and that could be, arm not quite feeling good enough, as this will be popped up on the infield. Shortstop will come in to take it in. Brooks will make the catch. Hunsley retire. There's now 2 down here in the bottom of the first, and it brings up Charlie Simpson, the DH.
Yeah, and like you talked about, Beer with a fantastic performance against Brandon Valley, but statistically by the numbers, you look at a guy like a Brooks, for example. He's probably your number one guy, at least in terms of earned run average, with a 3.23 ERA, lowest on the team in 13 innings pitched through 2 starts. He's only thrown 2 games, but he's started both of them and thrown 13 innings total. So a guy that can get you deep into ball games in Brooks, and that's maybe a guy that, look to be available later on down the line.
Runner takes off for third, and Scheffelbein will steal third on the pitch that was inside. The count's now 2-0. Scheffelbein will steal second and third, and a little bit of a head tilt from Coach Iverson saying, hey, good steal, but better not get thrown out trying to steal third base because you don't want to make that third out over a third. 2-0 pitch. There's a ground ball that is backhanded by Pierre. He'll knock it down. He'll get up. The throw to first is picked at first to retire Simpson and end the inning here in the bottom of the first inning. Good play there from Pierre to stay with it and to limit the damage. 1 run scores without a hit in the inning. There are no errors and 1 man left on base. We have played 1 inning and a 1-0 lead for Pierre over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Comtech, your local technology solutions provider, is now located on the truck bypass. With great brands like Bose, Sonos, LG, Samsung, Lenovo, and so much more. Stop in to see their new showroom for everything in stock for your personal or business needs. Comtech provides professional installation and service after the sale. Comtech is your local technology store, located now on the truck bypass, or visit us on the web at comtechplus.com.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
As we welcome you back here, top of the second, it is a 1-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schoffelbein scoreboard for Pierre over Box Elder. 4, 5, and 6. Paxton Fisher, Tegan Smith, and Spencer Johansson be the first 3 hitters. Cole Morling will follow if any of the 3 reach base here in the top of the second. As Terwilliger got a 1-2-3 inning in that first. Also want to say congratulations to the Pierre Little League after they picked up they lost the first game to Sioux Falls 10-0, but then came back and beat Huron 13-2 and advances to the state tournament on July 18th out in Rapid City. So the Capital City Little League will be back in the state tournament once again this year, and will be traveling out to Rapid on July 18th for that Thursday, that first game, as the first pitch is over for strike 1 to Paxton Fisher to lead things off here in the top of the second. Terwilliger got a strikeout in the top of the first inning after a ground out and then a pop out in front of the mound as that one just misses outside, and the count is even at a ball and a strike here to Fisher.
I was down at those Little League games, to your point, John, this weekend, as Fisher swings through strike 2. Was down there to watch the umpiring of one Bennett Dean doing a couple of games down there, and was a really, really well played game by Sioux Falls. And that first one, as this one's flown out to right by Fisher, it's going to land in front of the right fielder for Pierre in Gunnar Edson out there, but. Really good Sioux Falls team. They, won both games of that round robin between both Pierre and Huron, but Pierre was able to come back in that last game and pick up a huge win over Huron to advance to the state tournament.
Fisher is the first base runner in the first hit from either side, as Tegan Smith will come to the plate. Leadoff man on base here in the top of the second for Box Elder. Good start for them here in the second, trying to tie things up. So Terwilliger will work out of the stretch as he delivers the first pitch and a swing and a miss for strike 1 to Tegan Smith. Smith in game number 1 went 0 for 2. And grounded into a double play and also grounded out to the first baseman. He was hit by a pitch as well. A 1 pitch that is grounded just off left side of the plate, and the count's quickly 0-2. And a good spot for those. I mean, that Griffin Park field is one of the best in the state. And there's a lot of really good baseball fields here in Pierre, that from the lower levels all the way up to the high school level, and I guess even technical collegiate level of that pitch being inside. The count's now 1-2 with the Y Zap playing here too. It's hard to say that Pierre doesn't belong in the category for best fields in the state per city. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That'll be popped up behind home plate, but Peterson didn't get a chance to quickly locate it, and once he once that first second went through, there's no way he was going to get himself over to it. And the count's now stays at 1-2.
But yeah, to your point about the fields, I mean, you think about the softball complex, fantastic fields down there, and then Griffin, you talked about LaBarge Park, another fantastic facility, as Smith fouls that one to the backstop for it to remain a 1-2 count here. But LaBarge, Griffin, the field kind of next to the carriage house on Harrison Avenue, and then of course Hyde Stadium here. There's so many fields as Smith lines that one past the diving Dawson gets into left field. So now we've got runners first and second here for Box Elder in this top of the second with nobody out. But you're right. As far as facilities and the quality of fields and with all of them being, true fields, no turf or anything like that, it's hard to find a better town or city in the state of South Dakota than Pierre.
So here's Spencer Johansson, the DH, after going 0 for 2 with 2 ground downs and hit by a pitch in game number 1. Hits with runners at first and second. The first pitch will get to the backstop, and everybody will move up 90 feet to make it first and second, or make that second and third here with nobody out. And all of a sudden, the go-ahead run on base for an in-scoring position here for Box Elder in this top of the second. If you look back at last game, and outside of the bases loaded jam that Miles Doyle got out of, the go-ahead run was never on base. This will be flown out to right field. Gunnar Edsel make the catch. He slips as he made the catch. Everybody tags and will move up a base, scoring a run to tie the game up at 1-1. Regardless if he slips or not, he's not going to be able to throw that runner out at home. But Edson does make the catch for the first out. And there is a tie ball game with the now runner on at third and 1 out. It's a 1-1 tie. And it brings up Colton Morlang, who had a solo shot in game number 1. And a chance for Box Elder to take the lead here in the top of the second. First pitch here to Morlang. Swing and miss for strike 1. And after what was a shaky start in the first 3 hitters for Will Waddell, he's able to get a soft pop out in front of the second base bag and a hard ground out. The count's now 1-1. Regardless of how this inning ends, whether it's 1-1 or Box Elder has the lead, a chance for him to really settle into this ball game and have a fresh start. Again, whether it's tied and you can play it 0-0 or you have yourself an advantage going into the bottom of the second. That'll be upstairs, and the count's 2-1 here to Morlang.
Yeah, just an opportunity here for Terwilliger to set down the dangerous hitter in the number 7 hole for Box Elder and Morlang, as that one is popped up on the right side of the infield. Shufflebine will camp under it, make the catch, taking a couple of shuffle steps back to his right for out number 2 as he's settled under that fly ball. Morlang retired for the second time this afternoon, and now the Eights have 2 outs with the go-ahead run standing 90 feet away for Box Elder.
So now Ethan Wilson trying to give the Box Elder team the lead. Post 3:15, tied the ball game over the sac fly RBI. Line shot that is fouled on the first base side. And the count is 0-1 here to Wilson. Game 1 for Ethan Wilson, 0 for 3. Struck out looking in the top of the 7th inning. Just 3 hits in game number 1. Ian Beer, along with also Paxton Fisher, had singles, and then the home run for Colton Morlang. But 2 hits back-to-back from Fisher and Smith. And a sac fly that makes it a 1-1 tie. As there's a check swing into center field for a base hit. And a 2-1 lead for Box Elder. You can't get any luckier than that from the hitter in Ethan Wilson, who did not really want to swing, but he will take that obvious base hit, and it looks like it was a frozen rope in the scorebook, a base hit into center field, and an RBI to make it a 2-1 lead for Box Elder.
Yeah, and in 20 years, you know, the reality of what happened on a check swing that, you know, got over the head of the second baseman in Shufflebine for a single into center field to score a run and on an RBI single at that for Wilson. against Cooper Terwilliger turns into a line drive, full swing that went 110 off the bat off of a guy who, has offers to play at the very least Division I football. So that will definitely get, exacerbated over time, I'm sure, if you're a guy like Ethan Wilson. At least I would exacerbate that story if I'm Wilson.
I was gonna say, either go the more believable route, or say I had a check swing and it fired right through the second baseman's glove, made a hole in his glove to get a base hit. Counts 1-2 here to Bobby Steffi, the number 9 man in the batting order, with the Box Elder leading now 2-1. 3 hits in game 1, but 3 hits here in inning number 2 in game 2 to take a 2-1 advantage over Pierre. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the first baseman, Buckles, but it eats him up. Knocked his glove off of his hand, and it'll roll into right field. The runner from second will head to third as the throw comes in, and it goes below the second baseman of Scheffelbein. But it will end up being nobody else advancing, and it will be an air charge to Buckles that makes it first and third. The inning will continue now for Ian Beer.
The third baseman.
Yeah, just a tough hop there by Buckles, and like you said, knocked his glove off, gets away from him, and gets into right field. The throw in from Edson gets through the cutoff in Scheffelbein and kind of rolls around a little bit. So, the hitter in Steffi was, thought about maybe going to third on that, or to second on that rather, but he does stay put at first base, and now Box Elder has runners at the corners as the lineup card turns over for them, and statistically, at least by batting average, their best hitter steps into the box.
Beer grounded back to Terwilliger to open up the ball game. A 1-3 ground down. 0-1 pitch will miss low, and the count is even at a ball to strike here to Beer. So the inning continues. Already 2 runs scored here by Box Elder in the top of the second, as they now lead at 2-1 on the American Family Insurance and Brittany Scheffelbein scoreboard. Here's the 1-1 from Terwilliger. That'll be popped up on the right side. Long run, foul territory, and it will land foul as it landed in no man's land between Scheffelbein, Buckles, and Edson. And the count goes to now a ball on 2 strikes, as Terwilliger will try and get out of this inning with just those 2 runs scoring. So an RBI single from, or an RBI sac fly from Spencer Johansson, and then an RBI single from Ethan Wilson. But an error from Buckles to allow Steffi to reach base. And still got Box Elder threatening here in the top of the second. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul back by Beard. He stays alive at 1-2. Be 6, 7, and 8. Dawson gets Gunnar Edson and J.J. Buckles in the bottom half of the second inning. Leading away from third is Wilson. Steffi at first. 1-2 pitch will miss low and away. And the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Post 8 will play Post 22 Expos on Wednesday. It is not the Hard Hats, but the Junior Legion Expos. They will play them at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, with the first game of that doubleheader. That one will be taken for strike 3, and that will retire the side here in the top of the second. 2 runs scored in the inning on 3 hits. There was an error and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. Box Elder leads for the first time today. A 2-1 advantage over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Nystrom Electrical Contracting in Pierre has been providing professional sales, service, and installation since 1977. Whether you're starting from scratch, new construction, or you're upgrading your current system at your home, farm, or office, give the professionals at Nystrom Electrical Contracting a call. They've got a lot of bright ideas. Call Nystrom's today to schedule a free computer-generated estimate. The number is 224-8750, or visit their website at nystromelectric.com.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakota.sprinkler.com today.
As we welcome you back, it is a 2-1 lead for Box Elder here in the bottom of the second, and it will be 6, 7, 8. Dawson Getz, Gunnar Edson, and J.J. Buckholz. Anybody reaches base, George Stalley will come to the plate. And again, we mentioned, too, Wednesday it'll be Pierre taking on Box, or make that post-22 Expos, a 3 o'clock first pitch of that doubleheader. Then Thursday, Pierre will be in Bismarck with a 5 o'clock first pitch of that doubleheader. And then Saturday, Harrisburg Maroon will be in town for the final home game of the regular season, and what will most likely be the final home game of the year for Post State, as they would have to get one of the top 7 seeds to be able to be in the hosting that best-of-3 series, which I don't know if it's completely impossible to get, but more than likely not going to happen, because they could win the rest of their games and still need help, as that'll be lined into right field, and coming in, diving and making a catch is going to be Colton Morlang to take away a base hit and what would have been extra base hits if that would have fell in. And Morlang will rob Getz of a leadoff hit in the first pitch of the bottom of the second, and it brings up Gunnar Edson.
Yeah, what a play by Colton Morlang out in right field. That kid is a fantastic baseball player, whatever way you slice it, whether he's on the mound in the batter's box or, playing defensively in the field. The kid is a really good baseball player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to play baseball at the next level, whether it's next year or sometime in the future.
Here's Gunnar Edson, who's ahead in the count 2-0. And for Gunnar Edson, he is hitting 190 so far, still looking for that first RBI, but has scored 7 runs. Hitting with nobody on right now. 2-0 pitch will bounce in, and the count's now 3-0. And Steffi tried to frame it like it was right down the middle, even though it bounced in front of the plates. As it is a 3-0 count. You never know. Hey, it only doesn't work. The worst thing that happens is the umpire still calls it ball 4. As that first 3-0 pitch is over for a strike, and the count's now 3-1. Not too many. I mean, there are guys that swing at pitches in the dirt, and sometimes Vladimir Guerrero would get a base hit. Well, that will hit the umpire's mask without it even hitting the glove of the catcher, which does not feel good.
I think that's the second time that's happened this afternoon. And he's giving the catcher an earful right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's and I can't disagree with the home plate umpire, because the last thing you want to do is have the catcher miss the ball completely and hit the mask. It's different if it clips off the glove or there's a swing and a foul tip, and it's not. And also, when you look at they don't have anybody on the bench, so the DH and Johansson, who caught in game 1, he is the DH and he could come in and catch, but otherwise you lose a guy in the batting order then, or you have to rotate guys around in the field. First pitch is over for strike 1 to J.J. Buckholz. There is the subtle relationship of a catcher and umpire of what those two go through, as that one will bounce in. The count's now 1-1. And there's that mutual respect between the two, but something like that, you start to really test the mutual respect between the two when something like that happens.
And say maybe that strike zone starts to shrink a little bit for the pitcher, as Waddell threw a pitch that was pretty close there, and was called a ball to make it a 2-1 count here to Buckholz, but that maybe the calls start to sway the other way if the umpire doesn't feel protected, as Buckholz fouls that one back to the screen to make it a 2-2 count here.
So 2-2 count here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Runner on at first, and Gunnar Edson, who drew the walk. The number 9 man, George Stalley, that is waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Runner takes off. That pitch will miss low for ball 3. The throw to second will be high, and it will be a stolen base now for Gunnar Edson. And it's a runner on at second here with 1 away in the bottom of the second inning. J.J. Buckles trying to reach base after going 1 for 3 in game number 1, having one of those 6 hits for the Eights. 3-2 pitch, instead a half check but no throw from the pitcher in Waddell.
Yeah, that was Edson's second stolen base on the year.
3-2. Ground ball back up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Edson will round third. He's going to try and score. There will not be a throw. It's an RBI single for J.J. Buckles, so we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the second. Good piece of hitting for Buckles to go back up the middle, and a big stolen base from Edson turns into a RBI for Buckles.
Yeah, hit just went underneath the glove of Brooks. Thought he might have had a chance to make a play on it, but just got right past him into center field. Edson was off with contact, and he scores standing up on the ground ball single for Buckles. That will be Buckles is, if our statistics are right, if he didn't have an RBI in that first game, only his 6th RBI of the season in the batter's box.
First pitch is over for strike 1. First hit of the ball game as well for Post State to make this now a 2-2 tie.
His 7th, actually, because he did have one in game 1.
Here is the 0-1 pitch. That'll be over for a strike, and the count's now 0-2 here to Staley.
Never mind. It is his 6th.
I
was looking at the wrong column.
Didn't think that he had an RBI in the first game, but it is an 0-2 count here to George Staley. The runner on at first here and 1 away. Staley will fly that out towards center field, and his counterpart, the center fielder Wilson, barely has to move to make the catch, and backpedaling back to first is Buckles, and there's now 2 down here at the bottom of the second, and we'll bring up now the top of the order. Nolan Peterson back to the plate, who drew a walk and then scored the game's first run back in the first inning. The Eights took advantage with Nolan Peterson, that stolen base, and then a wild pitch that got him to third, and another wild pitch that scored him. With Shufflebein that was at the plate, he watched him steal second and go to third and fourth, all in 3 straight pitches. The first pitch is over for strike 1 here to Peterson.
Yeah, you look at the top 2 guys in the batting order for the Eights in Nolan Peterson and Sutton Sunshine. Statistically, as the pitch comes in and hits Peterson in the left deltoid, and he will take first base on the hit by pitch, moving Buckles to second. But you look at the top 2 guys for the Eights in the batting order, and statistically, at least batting-wise, they are almost identical, at least in terms of their slash lines. Peterson's coming into the doubleheader slashing 361, 453, 431. Sunshine slashing 362, 452, 435. So statistically, an OPS for Sunshine of .003 higher than Nolan Peterson. So you can't have 2 guys in a batting order that are about as similar as these 2 guys.
0-1 pitch will be high for ball 1, as the catcher and Steffi had to reach up and snag it, as the count is even at a ball and strike here to Sunshine, who struck out looking in his first trip up to the plate. Buckles at second, Peterson at first. That 1-1 pitch, a little bit of a slip on the throw from Waddell, and it will get to the backstop, bouncing in front of the plate. The count goes to now 2-1, and it's second and third here with 2 outs, and Sunshine can give the Eights the lead and can double up the lead here for Pierre if he can get a base hit. See Waddell go back to the windup here with runners at second and third and 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. That'll miss outside, and the count's now 3-1. Carter Shufflebein, who drew a walk his first time to the plate, he is waiting on deck. The 3-1 here from the pitcher Waddell to Sunshine will miss high for ball 4, as it almost got over the head of Steffi into the backstop, and the bases are now loaded for Carter Shufflebein.
Number 10, Carter Shufflebein.
We'll see now with the bases loaded and 2 outs if Shufflebein can get a base hit.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity here for Schiffelbein to kind of pad his stats as well with the bases loaded.
That first pitch will get to the backstop. That will score the run of Buckles to give Pierre the lead back, 3-2. And the first pitch over and missing for ball one, obviously. And another wild pitch with Schiffelbein at the plate scores a run. And it's second and third now here with 2 outs.
Yeah, that run being Buckles is 9th on the year.
1-0 pitch. That'll bounce in. That'll get to the backstop as trying to find it was Steffi. Another run comes in to score to make it now a 4-2 lead. And the runner stays at third base. And Schiffelbein's got to be thinking, can I at least try and get a base hit with the guy on base? That's he's now seen 3 of the 4 runs. 3 of the 4 runs have scored on wild pitches, and all 3 have been with Schiffelbein at the plates. So with a 2-0 count, another wild pitch scoring another run, Schiffelbein will have a chance to hit again with the bases empty. 2-1 pitch, or 2-0 pitch is upstairs for ball 3, and the count is now at 3-0.
Peterson scores his 17th run of the season, team lead, as he's had 4 now in this doubleheader.
3-0 pitch. That's over for a strike, and the count is now at 3 balls and a strike here to Schiffelbein.
But yeah, you're right. That would be really frustrating if you're Schiffelbein going up to the plate. Chance to pad the stats a little bit, and in 2 pitches, you go from bases loaded to just one guy on bases. He does draw the 4-pitch walk to extend the inning to Grayson Hunsley.
So first and third now here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, a 4-2 lead. And one of those where as a competitor and a guy that you want to be the guy to bring those runs home, it is frustrating as a teammate and wanting to see your team win. It's good to see those guys score. Here's the first pitch that will be flown out to right field. Coming in will be Moorlane to make the catch and retire the side here in the bottom of the second. But 3 runs score in the inning for Post State on just 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. We have played 2 complete. Pierre leads Box Elder 4-2. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back. The sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Schiffelbein Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
It is the top of the third, and Post State has a 4-2 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schiffelbein scoreboard, as it will be 2, 3, and 4 for Post 315. Mason Brooks, Cooper Moorlang, and Paxton Fisher. Anybody reaches base, it'll be then Tegan Smith. As you're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. Jacob Mayer back at the station just past 5 o'clock. Here is the first pitch. That will be fouled back, and it is 0-1. We've got Sunday Night Baseball coming up after we're done here tonight on KCCR. That'll be Red Sox and Yankees. Be the final of the final Sunday Night Baseball game before the All-Star break, with no Sunday night game next week Sunday, as it counts 1-1 here to Mason Brooks. But we will have the Home Run Derby, as well as also the All-Star game, as there's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 1-2. Post State plays at 3 o'clock on the Tuesday of the All-Star game against Sioux Falls West, but regardless of how that game, or regardless, we'll have coverage of the All-Star game as there's a swing and a miss by Brooks. Second time that he has gone down on strikes. And the third strikeout of the ball game for Cooper Twilliger to lead things off here at the top of the third, and it brings up Cooper Morelang.
Yeah, the other unique thing that MLB has done over the past few years is they've moved the date of the MLB draft as Cooper Morelang flies this one to center and George Staley, who camps underneath it for out number 2. They've moved the MLB draft from June to over All-Star weekend. So MLB draft will happen as well as the Home Run Derby and All-Star game over All-Star weekend. So something exciting to look forward to, as well as all the other events. The Futures game will be going on as well. So you'll get to see some of the next top prospects in Major League Baseball participating in that game. So really, I like what MLB has done with All-Star Weekend. They've continued with the events as that's a base hit by Fisher into right field to extend the inning. But a lot of excitement goes on over All-Star Weekend outside of just the All-Star game.
Fisher is now 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Tegan Smith has got one of those 4 hits overall from Box Elder as he'll come into the ball, or he'll step to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on first. One thing also that the Home Run Derby has changed just a little bit. The first round is no longer a bracket style. The semifinals and championship, well, obviously championship is how it is. We'll talk about that into the bottom half of the inning as the pitch is grounded back to Cooper Twilliger, who will throw on to first to retire the side. Here in the top of the third, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. It is a 4-2 lead for Pierre over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to handle electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
As we welcome you back here, it is the bottom of the third and a 4-2 lead for Post State over Box Elder with American Family Insurance. Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard as Will Wandell will deal with 5, 6, and 7. Charlie Simpson, Dawson Getz, and Gunnar Edson. 8 men came to the plate in that last inning, scoring 3 runs. And Simpson, Getz, and Edson will get things started here in the bottom of the third. Right before we got to the break, we were talking about the Home Run Derby coming up here in just about a week and a day. And the Home Run Derby now is the top 8, or I wouldn't say top 8, just the 8 competitors that are participating will all get a chance to hit. They will take the top 4 into the semifinal round, and they'll seed them out 1 through 4 based on their home run total in the first round. But there's also now it's no longer just a pitch or a timing, it's a pitch count on top of the timing. So there's a lot of people that when you watch the Home Run Derby, you don't get a really chance to see where a lot of these balls end up flying out of the ballpark or into the stands because the next pitch has already been thrown and you're trying to see them hit the ball and see them fly out. So they've added a pitch total of what you can see in a round as it counts 2-0, which I think will help keep the pace moving, but slow down the amount of times. And it's not even that, it's outs. It is pitch totals. Bonus round is a little bit different because then you can't slow yourself down because a lot of guys will just take a couple pitches here and there. Well, now you got to slow yourself down because you can't just throw a whole bunch of pitches and who cares if you hit them out or if you don't hit. You got to be accurate on your 40 pitches or 30 pitches, whatever it is. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Simpson. That'll be over for a strike, and the count's now 2-2.
I don't know. Call me an old head, but I just miss the 10 outs. That I understand why they decided to kind of speed it up, but there was something about watching a guy as that pitch comes in and drills Simpson in the side to put him on base as the leadoff base runner for the Eights here in the bottom of the third, but.
That's how I feel about what you're. No, I'm just kidding. Want to hit you right in the ribs too? No.
Oh, really?
No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, just about I don't know. I understand why they wanted to speed it up, but there's something about watching, a hitter at work tracking pitches, and then selecting the one they want to hit 500 feet. I don't know.
Well, and I agree about that. As the runner takes off to second, the throw will be high, and no chance that Simpson will steal second. First pitch missed as well to Dawson Getz, a stolen base. So he is in scoring position as Simpson with a 1-0 count. I agree to the point of, like the 10-out system. It had just gotten to the point where the guy would be taking pitches right down the middle just to keep himself fresh as much as possible. This will be popped foul on the left side, or out of play to our left, and the count's now 1-1. But now you look on the other side of things, and where you're supposed to wait for the pitch to get, or the hit to get out of the field of play into the stands before the next pitch is thrown, obviously was not the case. Here's a pickoff attempt, and just diving back in time is Simpson at second. They nearly and almost got him picked off. He barely got back to the bag. He could have been out at second, but he was able to dive back in safely. As it counts 1-1 here to Dawson Getz. The pitch from Waddell. There's a ground ball to the right side. That is a glove down by Cooper Morlang. His throw to first will be in time. And a nice play from Morlang to retire Getz. And there's one down with Simpson moving up to third. And it brings up now Gunnar Edson, who drew a walk in his first trip to the plate. But that's I think they're getting closer to how I feel about them having the home run derby. Having something kind of timed, maybe something about how many pitches they can throw, but I still like the outs of 10 outs.
Yeah.
Because if you have it timed, if you have the outs, I think that's where I like to see it go, because it keeps guys moving, but it gives you a chance to hit as many home runs as you can in 10 outs and stuff like that. But
right.
The happy medium of it all. But, you go back to the days like Josh Hamilton's 26 home runs or whatever it was, and one getting out of Yankee Stadium, as that one will be taken for strike three, and Edson's down on 3 pitches, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the third, and brings up J.J. Buckles. That was so much fun to watch, but I think it was going the other way of being almost boring to watch when guys would swing at every 5th pitch.
Yep. By the way, do you know who won that home run derby at Yankee Stadium?
I believe it was Joe Mauer, wasn't it?
It was not.
It was no, it was a twin though.
It was a twin.
It was Justin Morneau.
It was Justin Morneau.
Yep. Morneau and Mauer, they're all the same. Those 2 guys are the same. Counts 0-1 here to J.J. Buckles.
The Hall of Fame would disagree.
Right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-1.
But no, that was definitely a All-Star game moment, home run derby moment to remember. The other one that people forget about is, I don't know if it happened the next year or, kind of around that time frame, but Bobby Abreu hit just about as many in a round as Josh Hamilton did, and he came into that home run derby with 10 homers on the season. I mean, he was not known for his, exceptional power, but then he steps in the box and puts up 30 in a round or something crazy. And so that's one that a lot of people forget about is Bobby Abreu going off for a Josh Hamilton-esque performance when he stepped into the batter's box. I think that was in Houston, if I remember right. I could be wrong.
That sounds similar to a 1-2 pitch. Will miss just inside the Buckles, and the count's now 2-2. Then you go back way back. Was it I think it was 2001 when they had the tie in the All-Star game when it's in Milwaukee, and some of the Sammy Sosa having such a great. That one will be bouncing off maybe off the hat of the third baseman Ian Beer. It will be an air charge to Beer at third base. A run will come in to score. Buckles is safe at first without a play, and Beer seems to be okay. But that might have the bounce might have popped off the hat instead of hitting him in the head, but thankfully just hit him in the hat.
I think it went off the glove and then off the bill of his cap. You're right, because the hat did come off and was not able to glove it was Beer. But regardless, Buckles ends up on first base, run scores, and it is now a 5-2 lead for the Eights. So
here is now George Staley. First pitch will hit him as he's trying to jump out of the way to maybe get Buckles to second with still having the at-bat, but it will be a hit-by-pitch of Staley. And it's first and second now here with 2 away, and we'll bring up Nolan Peterson, who has walked and hit by a pitch in his 2 trips to the plate, and we'll have a mound visit. Being a young guy watching the home run derby, now you can, and there's guys that didn't want to be in the home run derby back in the day because it messed with their swing. Now most of these guys are swinging for the fences regardless if it's a 0-2 count or a 3-2 count or a 3-1 pitch. So their swings don't get messed up in the home run derby. So they might as well, everybody just continue to the top 8 guys should be the top home run hitters in the league going into the home run derby. But there was, home run derby was always something. And you look at all the All-Star games across, and DT and I have talked about this multiple times, whether it be on air or off the air. Major League Baseball's All-Star festivities, from the home run derby to the All-Star game, as that pitch will get away, and then counts 1-0 here to Nolan Peterson. Second and third now here with 2 away to Peterson, with Peterson at the plate. It is better than any other professional sport. There's nothing that compares to the All-Star game of baseball to any other sport.
100%. And I think that's, a lot of the other sports, at least if on the in the male and really in the female, the WNBA, you look at it too. All of those athletes go into an all-star game with the sole goal of not wanting to hurt themselves for the second half of their season. And, that's really in the MLB all-star game, they are concerned about that as that pitch gets in the dirt and Buckles will score to make it a 6-2 ball game. And
here comes Staley. Staley will come in to score as well without the throw. The throw was late to get to him, and 2-run score and a wild pitch, and it's a 7-2 lead here for the Eights.
Yeah, huge bounce that just kind of caromed off the stone on the bottom of the wall back behind home plate and took a bounce toward the box elder dugout. So Buckles was able to score easily, and then Staley didn't stop. He rounded third and was able to score very easily on that play to make it a 7-2 lead for the Eights.
Here's a 2-2 to Peterson. That'll be just outside for ball 3, and the count is full at 3-2. That's the 5th wild pitch run to score for the Eights so far in this game. If they had just only scored on RBIs, it would be even without an RBI, it would be a 2-1, or with RBIs, it'd be 2-1 that Pierre would be down. But even with the ball put into play, it would still be a 2-2 game, as that pitch will miss inside for ball 4 and extend the inning now to sun and shine.
Yeah, and you look at the scoreboard right now, Eights only have 1 hit on the board. And I think that's a testament to not only the number of walks and hit by pitches that they've been able to get on base, but then they've been able to move guys around without putting the ball in play, really, at the end of the day.
Peterson was on his way to stealing second. The pitch was in the dirt, and there was no throw from the catcher in Steffi, so it is a stolen base for Peterson. Now he is in scoring position. But go back to the All-Star game. You talk about guys and girls not wanting to get hurt in All-Star games. That pitch will miss low, and the count's now 2-0. Defense is a part of everybody, playing without the ball is defense in every sport.
Yep.
You have the ball when you're playing defense in baseball. And pitchers don't want to come in there and let guys just hit a whole bunch of home runs off of them. And again, baseball is also that fickle game where if you just mail in a couple at-bats, that can turn into you going batting 300 in the first half of the season to batting about 150 in the second half of the season, because one at-bat can sometimes get you out of a slump or in a slump. And so there's a lot of extra factors. One, it used to mean something with the World Series having home field advantage, but there's guys that you can't just go in and mail in your appearance of the All-Star game, because it's not going to help you individually continue to go along in the season.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's really kind of an opportunity to showcase your talents on a national stage in the All-Star game and show why you deserve to be there. And while we've been on the air this afternoon, the All-Star game rosters, the reserves, have been announced. And, with our favorite teams being the Twins and the Cardinals, the Twins representative, it will be Carlos Correa, the shortstop for Minnesota, and it looked like the St. Louis representative will be their closer in Ryan Helsley.
Counts 1-1 here to Carter Scheffelbein. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It'll be over for a strike. The count's now 1-2. Which is hard to believe that overall that either one of those teams don't have more than one representative.
Right.
I know the starters kind of, you put a lot of guys in the, but even then, like, you think about the Twins are 10 games plus over 500. The Cardinals are about 5 or 6 games over 500 now. And there's not a whole lot of extra teams that are over 500 that have only one representative from each of those teams. 2-2 to Scheffelbein when we fouled back. Obviously, the Orioles and the Phillies, I think the Yankees probably do too, have multiple guys on that roster, and have probably 3 to 4 to 5 guys on the roster for the All-Star team.
Yeah, the Phillies.
2-2 pitch will be inside for ball 3.
The Phillies themselves have 4 pitchers that have made the All-Star game for the National League in Matt Stram, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, and Jeff Hoffman. So, that just goes to show you how good that team is.
3-2 pitch will be line out of play. 3-2 count with 2 outs. Peterson had a pretty good head start. He's most likely going to score anyway, so if you can get Sonnenschein to have a really good head start as well, he could maybe score on a base hit. And a couple of those, those pitchers too, they won't end up pitching because of their rotation side of things. 3-2 pitch again. Scheffelbein will sky this out towards left field. Going back as a left fielder, still going back. It will one hop off the wall. Both runs will come in to score. Scheffelbein will stop at second. He's got a 2 RBI, 2-out double. And it's a 9-2 lead now for Post States. And you can see what Scheffelbein can do with guys on base. Nobody scored on a wild pitch in his at-bat, and he drives in both runs. So only one guy, he's had about 5 guys on base now, 6 guys on base in his 3 plate appearances, and all but one have scored, but he's only drove in 2 of them, which just sounds like it doesn't make any sense. But a 2 RBI double for Scheffelbein. And Grayson Hudsley will take ball 1, and a 9-2 lead here for the Eights in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
I think that's what you call efficiency, John. Regardless of how guys get across the plate, when you're in the batter's box, it still looks good for you.
Scheffelbein with RBIs 10 and 11. That's his first extra base hit of the season as well. And he came in the day hitting .306 for Post State. He is 1 for 1, 2 walks, and now a double here in game number 2. There's a fly ball by Hunsley down the right field line. It is going to be in foul territory, and the first baseman and Fisher overran it, and it falls harmlessly in foul territory for strike 1. The count is now at 2 balls and a strike. Hunsley is the 9th man to come to the plate here in the bottom of the third. A 7-run lead, a 5-run third inning here for Post State. I will say I'm a little bit sad that the full home run derby lineup hasn't been announced, as Hunsley will ground this one foul. The count is now 2-2, because I have to now wait to ask you who your prediction is to win the home run derby.
We can get to it on Wednesday when hopefully they'll all be announced by then.
And at least we've got 2 more home games to go before we get to the one of the season, but also before the home run derby. Because is it Gunnar Henderson and
Alec Boehm is in there as well.
Boehm, yep.
Those are the 2 that come to mind right now.
I think that they might be the only 2 that have been announced so far.
Okay.
2-2 pitch. It will hit Hunsley. And it's now first and second with 2 outs, and that might draw the end of the line for starter and Will Waddell.
Yeah, 91 pitches through 2 2/3 innings for Waddell, and he hops off the mound and immediately gives the ball to the box elder manager.
So we will step aside for a minute. We'll tell you the changes, looking like it's going to be just positional-wise. Well, it has to be positional-wise. But we will tell you the changes coming up in a minute back here at Heights Stadium. You're listening to Post State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Wagner Auto Company is your complete transportation headquarters. Now is the time to order your new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, plus a good selection of quality pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll take care of you after the sale with a full-service parts and auto body shop with trained technicians, along with a friendly financing team that'll work with you to find the best deal and one that'll fit your budget. Wagner Auto is your local full-service family-owned dealership for over 115 years. WagnerAuto.com. That's WagnerAuto.com.
As we welcome you back, it is going to be Cooper Moreling on the mound here for Box Elder as the Eights lead at 9-2. Here in the bottom of the third, and it will be Charlie Simpson who led off the inning, the first man to greet Cooper Moreling. They will keep everybody in their positions. Mason Brooks will stay at short, so I was wondering if maybe Waddell would move over to shortstop, but he will take over at second. And it'll be just a straight positional change between Waddell and Moreling. And the DH is done, and Spencer Johansson. So it is now straight 9 guys for the Box Elder Post 315 team. And Spencer Johansson, his day is done. Waddell will hit for him to lead off the top of the 4th inning. So Charlie Simpson will lead things off. He was hit by a pitch to start this inning and end up scoring. The Eights have had 5-run score, but only 2 of them have been driven in, both by Shufflebein and the 2 RBI double. First pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. And for Cooper Moreling, this will be just his second appearance. He threw 1 inning, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs in that inning. As this will be popped up on the left side. Coming in will be the left fielder Smith. He will make the catch. 2 pitches to get out of that inning for Cooper Moreling and retire the side here in the bottom of the third. But a 5-run bottom of the third inning gives the Eights a 9-2 lead at the end of 4. Make that the end of 3 as the Eights lead at 9-2 over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
YAG Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag chemical and seed retailer. YAG Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. YAG Air for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle 605-280-8710 or Tony 605-280-4771.
Sometimes you get a piece of it and the ball sails over the fence. Other times, despite your best efforts, you strike out. I'm not just talking about the game, I mean your day. This is Pastor Sam of Faith Lutheran Church. Whether today feels like a home run or a strikeout, I encourage you to join us for worship. We celebrate when God gives us a wonderful day. We provide support and encouragement when that third strike comes. Come join us for encouraging and uplifting worship at Faith Lutheran Church.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the fourth. Post State is leading 9-2 over Box Elder, and it will be Will Waddell to lead things off, followed by Colton Morlang and Ethan Wilson, 5, 6, and 7. Or excuse me, 6, 7, and 8, and then followed by Bobby Steffi. 2 2/3 innings for Will Waddell. Gave him 2 hits, 9 runs, 4 of them earned, only 4 earned, 7 walks, and 2 strikeouts. As Cooper Twilliger has only thrown 49 pitches through 3 innings. Waddell threw 92 pitches to 2 2/3 innings. Here's the first pitch to Will Waddell upstairs for ball 1. And for Waddell in game number 1, he did get a chance to swing the bats. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout in that number 9 spot. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll miss outside. The count's now 2-0.
Yeah, I didn't look at the right field bullpen to see if Cooper Terwilliger was continuing to stay loose during that long inning for the Eights, but it'll be interesting to see how he responds after that long wait as that pitch catches the zone to make it a 2-1 count to Waddell in this top of the fourth. If he can make it a quick inning and get the Eights bats back in the box.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a check swing. They will appeal, and he did go, says the first base umpire. And Matt Clark, and the count's now 2-2. Johansson, he did go 0 for 0 because he had a sac fly RBI and ended up making a tie ball game at the time. It was 1-1 at that point. That one will miss low and away, and the count's 3-2. And then an RBI single from Ethan Wilson made it a 2-1 lead in the top of the second for Box Elder, but has been 8 straight runs for Post States, leading 9-2. That'll come inside, and that'll miss for ball 4, and a leadoff walk is issued here to Morlang. To Waddell, as is now Colton Morlang. He popped out of the second baseman, shuffle by in his first at-bat. 9 runs, 2 hits, and an error for Post State. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error for Box Elder. First pitch over for strike 1. And the count is 0-1 here to Colton Morlang.
You know, in his first at bat, I was really hoping that Colton Morlang was going to draw a walk as he fouls this one back over top of the screen to make it a 0-2 count, because then you could say in his first 3 plate appearances, he is a 3 true outcome hitter. A strikeout in his first at bat in game 1, the home run, and then a walk if he would have gotten that.
Pitches outside for a ball. The throw to second on the steal attempt and just wide of the bag. Shuffle by and couldn't put the tag applied in time as the count goes now 1-2. Here to Colton Morlang.
But instead he popped out, so it kind of ruined the ability to say that. Not very often you see a 3 true outcome hitter in Legion baseball here.
Well, and then there's been times where guys have found a way to reach base on just about almost every possible outcome, as the 1-2 pitch will be skied up into shallow center field. George Stalley will wait on it. He'll make the catch, and there's one down here in the top of the fourth, and it will bring up now the number 8 hitter in Ethan Wilson. I don't remember who it was over the course of a doubleheader here earlier this year that had gotten a base hit, drew on a walk. It was hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice, also reached on an error. I think the only thing was missing was a catcher's interference. I don't think there was an intentional walk, but you could have tried to add that in there too, but just found almost every possible way to reach base that there is in baseball, other than I think there are 2 outcomes that he didn't get a chance to have. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-0.
God, that's impressive. If you could get on base in every which way possible.
All in the span of a doubleheader.
Yeah.
That has to be rarer than a cycle.
Yeah.
Obviously, because there's like 7 ways that you can reach base. And you're probably not coming up 7 different times in a game. So it counts 3-0, unless you play like a 20-inning baseball game. And then Major League Baseball, you don't see that very often with the ghost runner starts at second. 3-0 pitch. That'll be over for a strike to Wilson. The count's now 3-1.
Well, it's a lot better than the most painful way to get on base, which is hit by pitch. Because was it the beginning of this baseball season that there was a college baseball hitter that got hit like 5 times or 7 times in a doubleheader or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember now what it was, but it was college baseball or what teams it were.
And it was early in the season, too.
Yeah, he just kept getting pelted every time he came to the plates. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Ethan Wilson was up 3-0 in the count, and Terwilliger comes back and gets 3 straight strikes and a swing and a miss for a strikeout, his 4th of the ball game. And there's now 2 down and brings up Bobby Steffi, who is 0 for 1, reaching on an error back in the top of the second. And now I don't remember who it was for the Phillies this weekend, whether it be yesterday or Friday, had fouled off a pitch on the back foot it would end up being a second strike, and he went down in pain, had to kind of walk it off. And the next pitch, obviously, you're going to try and go back to around that spot. Well, he ended up getting hit on that
in that spot
on the foot, and that's a painful way to get on base, especially after you hit yourself with the foul ball, and then the pitcher tries to throw a back foot slider or curveball, and that also pops you on the foot. Most guys end up having the ankle guards or whatever, the shin guards that are on your leading foot, as it counts 3-0 here to Bobby Steffi. Usually you don't have it on your back foot, but he might be a guy that probably needs to come up next time with that on his back foot. 3-0 pitch will miss for ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk issued to Steffi in his first and second walk of the inning by Terwilliger, and it brings up the top of the order here for Ian Beer.
Number 7, Ian.
And this is a spot here for Post State for Terwilliger, trying to get another 0 up here in this top of the 4th inning. And if you can do so, all of a sudden you're starting to look at maybe trying to score 3 runs in that bottom of the 4th to get yourself up by 10. But you really want that 0 right here. This will be popped up on the right side. Gunnar Edson is underneath it. He won't make the catch, and there is your 0. As Edson will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th, the 9-2 lead for Pierre over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress, and they get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again, or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door. Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
It is the bottom of the 4th, and Post States is leading 9-2 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. And they have Dawson Getz, Gunnar Edson, and J.J. Buckles, 6, 7, and 8 here for the 8s. George Stalley will bat if any of the 3 reach base, with the 8s leading by 7 here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to look for a 3-run inning here for the 8s. It's not out of the question of, it's a relatively, it's not easy to do, but it's more likely to score 3 runs than saying, hey, let's get a 5, 6, 7 run inning. But if they can score 3 runs here, and they have scored in all 3 of the innings so far, then get those 3 runs, they can put themselves in a spot to try and win in 5 and maybe pick up a 10-run rule win here in game number 2. And they will have Getz, Edson, and Buckles to do so. Kind of like what against Spearfish, and they had won the first game by a 10-run rule, and then game number 2 they took care of business as well. It's momentum builder, regardless of any team that you're playing, whether how good or bad they might be. It's momentum building to get a 10-run rule win.
Well, and I think the biggest thing too is earlier this week, Post 8 showed me anyway, and I think they showed their fan base too, that this is a team that can hang with anybody in the state. They took Sioux Falls East to the limit in both games, and now they're coming out and really putting it on Box Elder both in that first game and now in game 2. So this is a team that is really starting to click at the right time here at the end of the season.
This will be popped foul to play on the right side left of us, and the count's now 1-1 here to Dawson Getz, who is 0 for 2. As it will be a fly out to the right fielder and also a ground out in the second and third innings for Getz. 1-1 pitch is fouled back, and the count's now 1-2. And the Eights will play Wednesday against Post 22 Expos, 3 o'clock first pitch of that doubleheader. And then Bismarck on Thursday, 5 o'clock first pitch of the doubleheader. That is up in Bismarck. Then back home to finish out the home portion of the season against Harrisburg Maroon on Saturday. This will hit Dawson Getz. And the leadoff man is on base to kick off the bottom of the 4th inning. And it will bring up now Gunnar Edson. Will Wandell went, we talked about it as well. He went 2 and 2/3 innings, giving up 2 hits, 9 runs, 7 of them earned. Make that 4 of them earned on 7 walks and 2 strikeouts. But overall, Waddell hit 4 guys, and now Colton Morlang has hit his first man. So 5 different guys have been hit in this ball game for Post 8, which never really feel that good. First pitch, runner takes off. It is a strike. The throw to second, and Getz will stand up, stealing that bag, as the throw was late coming in. And a strikeout here, as Braden Houlette is hitting for Gunnar Edson.
Yeah, and to your point, John, it's been a different 8 that has been hit each time. Simpson's been hit, Getz has been hit, Hunsley's been hit, Staley's been hit, and Peterson's been hit. So 5 different guys of the 9 in the 8 batting order have been plunked here in game number 2 this afternoon.
So Houlette getting his first plate appearance, 150 batting average, 2 runs driven in on his 3 hits and 20 at-bats. Swing and a miss, as the count's now 2-2. One of the 5 guys that picked up the commemorative bat from the Russ Snyder Memorial Scholarship, and they give bats out to the seniors. One of those 5 guys that picked up a bat, as the count's now 3-2, along with Gunnar Edson, who he is hitting in place of. Nolan Peterson, Miles Doyle. And the 3-2 is a swing and a miss by Houlette, and there is a strikeout for out number 1.
Grayson Hunsley being the other one.
Yep. I was going to say, I was getting to that point, and then all of a sudden I was sitting there thinking, like, wait a second. I didn't say everybody. J.J. Buckles will come to the plates. Can't forget about Grayson Hunsley. But for those 5 guys, Miles Doyle being the lone guy, can return next year. And they could be super seniors, as the first pitch will miss to J.J. Buckles for ball 1.
Doyle's the only one that cannot then?
Yeah, he's the only one that will not be eligible age-wise. That one almost hits Buckles. He's able to dance out of the way, and the count's 2-0.
Which would be huge if the Eights could pick up even a couple of those guys for next year's team, because that's the thing that really sets apart teams in Legion Baseball is Buckles rips one down the left field line. He's going to stand on second base easily with – oh, no, he's not. He took a really wide turn at first and just stopped. It looked like the throw came into second base. Regardless, it's going to be a really long single down the left field line for Buckles. Run's going to score, make it a 10-2 ball game. But regardless, one of those, or a single for Buckles there that travels probably about 300 feet.
So Buckles will stay at first. He's got an RBI. That's his second RBI of the ball game. He'll take off for second. Stallion then will shoot that out towards center field. Backing up towards the warning track will be the center fielder and Wilson to make the catch. There's now 2 down, and Buckles will retreat back to the bag. And Stallion put a jolt into it, but just a bit too far. If he hits it down the line in left field, it's probably getting out for a home run, but that one just shy of the warning track, and there's now 2 down. And we'll bring up now Nolan Peterson, who has walked twice and was also hit by a pitch.
But to close the thought on what I was saying earlier, if Post State can pick up 2 of these guys, as Peterson gets hit for the second time now.
I think that's the third time today he's been hit.
Okay, second time in this game, third time overall. But if Post State can pick up 2 of those seniors to be supers next year, that would be huge, because that's the thing that sets apart Legion baseball teams, is if they can pick up multiple super seniors, that extra year on everybody else really makes a difference.
First pitch to Sunshine will miss for ball 1. These 2 runs are important here for both Post State and Box Elder. If they can get the runs to score from first and second, they will take a 10-run lead. And then they can go for the 3 outs, same way for Box Elder. You keep those 2 runs from scoring, or at least one of those 2 runs from scoring. You don't put the pressure on of having to score that run in the 5th inning to extend the ball game, as it counts 3-0 here to Sun and Shine. But you're right, that where Post State, I wouldn't say is lacking, but what we've seen from a lot of these teams that are going to be competing for a state championship in the state tournament, as it's a 4-pitch walk, is the fact that there are super seniors on all these teams. Yep. And for Post State, they have the shot to do that. And again, it's when you get guys that are 15, 16 years old, even 17-year-olds going against a 19-year-old, it's a big difference in terms of trying to, I wouldn't say just compete, but just in general, it's a little bit more intimidating, but just the speed of the game is a lot different to a 19-year-old coming back and playing a super senior than it is a 15, 16, 17-year-old playing Legion baseball for the first time.
Absolutely. And you look at the year that Post State won the state Legion championship in 2017, the best player in the state was a super senior from Pierre in Landon Badger, who is in the South Dakota High School Baseball Hall of Fame as well. But, a guy who came back, he was playing college baseball, as this one's going to be grounded to third base.
They have to throw to first, and they will get the out at first base. Beer was about to step on the bag at third, but it was Peterson that was running hard enough to make him throw that ball to first and retire the side. So the Eights only get that 1 run on just 1 hit in the inning, no errors, and 3 men left on base. It is a 10-2 lead for Pierre over Box Elder at the end of 4. Back in a minute with the start of the 5th. You're listening to Post State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Discover the ultimate driving experience at Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. With our extensive lineup of vehicles, including reliable sedans, rugged SUVs, and powerful trucks, finding your perfect match has never been easier. Plus, our dedicated team is committed to providing top-notch customer service, ensuring your satisfaction every step of the way. Visit us today and experience the excellence at Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
It is the top of the 5th, and Post State's has a 10-2 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. The Eights lead it by 8, and if they can get a 0 here in the top of the 5th, they can go try and score 2 runs in the bottom of that 5th inning to try and get a 10-run rule win. As it will be 2, 3, and 4, Mason Brooks, Cooper Morlang, and Paxton Fisher. And Blake, I'll let you finish up your thought from that bottom of the 4th of talking about the super seniors.
Well, just about, talking about Landon Badger, who was the lone super senior on the team for Post State that won the state championship back in 2017. And he came from his year, really starting in center field for South Dakota State, and then came back and played Legion for the Eights, and was by far and away the best player in the state of South Dakota that summer, and was really the reason why the Eights won state championship and really made a decent run in the regional held out in Rapid City, or actually up in North Dakota, as this one by Brooks is going to be popped foul into foul territory, and Buckles is going to make the catch for out number 1. But that was a really exciting year and a really exciting team, because very senior heavy, and then you had the super senior that you could slot in to play center field for you and hit number 3 in the batting order, and just a dangerous team up and down the lineup, no matter which way you sliced it. And there's a reason why that team will go down as one of, if not the best team in Post-State history.
Cooper Morlang, who's 0 for 2, takes strike 1 from Cooper Terwilliger with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. The 0-1 pitch. This will be flown out towards left field. Sutton Sun and Shine will backpedal, now move over to his left. He'll make the catch out in deep left center field, and there's now 2 down here in the top of the 5th, and to bring up Paxton Fisher, who is 2 for 2. He's got half the hits for Boxelder, who had back-to-back hits and 3 hits all in that 2nd inning. And he has the lone hit outside of the 2nd, which he picked up with 2 outs in the 3rd. As the first pitch here to Paxton Fisher, that will hit him. And so after 5 guys were hit from, or 6 guys now have been hit from Post State, and the first man hit for Boxelder. And I don't think that was more retaliatory of everybody else getting hit, but I think there's probably a few guys that wouldn't probably say it that will probably feel Cooper Terwilliger is kind of sticking up for him a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Tegan Smith now will come to the plate. The first pitch will be high and outside for ball 1. And again, one of those things where you're probably not trying to hit somebody. Obviously, Boxeller's not trying to hit all those guys, but as it continues to maybe build some frustration to see your pitcher hit somebody, regardless of which would be an accident, that little bit of you has the feeling, whether you like to admit it or not, gives you that good feeling inside that your pitcher's hit somebody else, just to kind of even things out a little bit.
Especially in the case of Nolan Peterson, who's been hit 3 times this doubleheader. So, feel good for him, I guess, as far as the catcher being the catcher goes, as well as the rest of the guys they're going to go home with bruises here this afternoon.
2-1 pitch. That is out towards left center field. That's actually going to get down for a base hit out in the left center field gap. Runner will around 2nd on his way to 3rd. They will send the runner. Dawson Getz will throw it home. The tag applied by Peterson. They say he's safe. They say he missed the tag. And it is a run that scores to make it now a 10-3 ball game. An RBI double for Tegan Smith. Scores Paxton Fisher. And it is now Will Waddell that will come to the plate.
Yeah, that was a risky play by Boxelder in sending the runner, but based on our view up here, at least my view, the throw took Peterson up the line, and he definitely missed the tag, and the runner was able to get in safely at the plate. So it's a 10-3 ball game here, as now Smith stands on second base with 2 outs, and the number 30 batting is Johansson.
Yeah, Johansson's back in the ball game.
Is that a re-entry?
We saw a against post 15, they use the courtesy runner. There's a base hit. They will hold the runner at third. Sonnenshine's got to get the ball back in. And it's another base hit, and it's now first and third here with 2 outs as Johansson will get a base hit and brings up Colton Morlang. So they have not really had, well, they've used the re-entry rule, or at least the courtesy runner rule, a couple different times. We do have some activity out in the right field bullpen. It looks like maybe Rounds is loosening back up again after throwing that top of the 7th in game number 1. Well, that's a big run to score for Box Elder, as the first pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. Here to Colton Morlang, who is 0 for 2. Popped out of the second baseman shuffle by and also flew out of the center fielder Stallion his 2 trips to the plate. That'll be outside. The count's now 2-0. It becomes a all-important guy to get out. It's a 7-run lead, so a 6-run lead is not going to be a huge difference. But if the Eights are looking to try and get a 10-run rule win, it becomes important to try and get this man out right here as the swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-1 here to Morlang.
Yeah, you're right. This is a big out here for the Eights to get. Granted, I think they're in a good spot in the batting order to potentially put together a crooked number on the board. They're going to be 4, 5, 6 in the batting order in this bottom of the 5th. But regardless, a big out to get here for Terwilliger.
3-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss. The count's now 3-2. Ethan Wilson is on deck. Does have an RBI single that at that point made it a 2-1 lead. But Post State scored 9 straight before the RBI double from Tegan Smith. 3-2 pitch. Runner takes off at first, and it will be ball 4. That will load the bases up now for Wilson. And the inning continues. Hit by pitch, a RBI double, a single, and now a walk, all coming with 2 outs as Terwilliger was about to cruise through the through the top of the 5th inning, but now it becomes a dangerous inning here for Box Elder and for Post State as well.
Yeah, and a good job by Peterson to go out to the mound and calm down his young starting pitcher in Terwilliger. This is a big spot in the order and in the ball game. Really, just gotta tell your guy, hey, just throw the ball across the plate. This is second to last hitter in the lineup here. Just pound the zone and let your defense help you out.
Here is the first pitch to Ethan Wilson. That was fouled on a play on the right side, and the count's 0-1. Post State will have 4, 5, and 6 in the bottom of the 5th inning. So bases loaded here with 2 outs. An 0-1 pitch here from Terwilliger here to Wilson. That'll miss low and away, and the count's now 1-1. 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Box Elder. 10 runs, 3 hits, and an error for Post State. Taking advantage of a lot of free passes. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Wilson was behind the fastball, and the count's now 1-2. And looking for a strikeout here is Terwilliger to get out of this inning.
And upcoming, this will be the 90th pitch of the ball game for Cooper Terwilliger.
Here is the 1-2. That'll bounce in, blocked up by Peterson. The count's now at 2-2 with the bases loaded here in 2 outs.
So 15 more pitches for Terwilliger to work with here. Deuces are wild here in the bottom of the 5th. The bases loaded.
Here is now the 2-2. Swing and miss and a strikeout for Terwilliger of Ethan Wilson to retire the side here in the top of the 5th inning. A run does score, 2 hits in the inning, no errors, and 2 men to make that 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Post State leads its 10-3 over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Most of us already know that Gale's Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
People helping people. Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
As we welcome you back, it is a 10-3 lead in the bottom of the fifth for now Post State, as a lefty on the mound, and Tegan Smith will take over for this Box Elder team, as Cooper Morlang was the second man to pitch, and now Tegan Smith will be the third man to pitch for Box Elder in game number 2, and the Eights will be looking to try and get 3 runs to finish out this win, as they lead at 10-3 right now, and they will deal with 4, 5, and 6, or Box Elder will deal with 4, 5, and 6. Grayson Hunsley, Charlie Simpson, and Dawson Getz. And the numbers for Cooper Morlang, an inning and a third, giving up a hit, a run, a walk, and a strikeout. So overall, it'd be 14 free passes that have been given to Post State, as Waddell had 7 walks, Morlang with a walk, 8 total walks, but 6 guys have been hit by a pitch, 4 by Waddell and 2 by Morlang. So 14 free passes, and the Eights have just 4 RBIs on 3 hits of the 10 runs that have scored. They have scored a lot of wild pitches as well. They've had 5 wild pitches from Will Waddell that scored runs. In general, had 5 wild pitches, but scored a lot of runs for Post State so far in this ball game. So it has been a lot of miscues by Box Elder, but Tegan Smith will try and limit the damage and try and keep this 10-3 as long as possible, or at least 10 runs for Post State as long as possible, as Grayson Hunsley will step to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And as far as defensive changes for Box Elder here, Smith moves from left field to the mound. Cooper Morlang moves from the mound back to second base. The second baseman was Will Waddell. He is now out of the ball game. The catcher in Bobby Steppe actually moves from behind the plate to right field, and Johansson actually re-enters the ball game to catch. So and then the right fielder in Colton Morlang moved from right field to left field. So defensive changes across the board for the Box Elder Post 315 here. A lot of defensive changes, a lot of moving parts.
I was going to say, we'll give you the full defensive lineup from left to right across the board here in just a moment. 1-1 pitch to Hunsley will be taken to the top of the zone. The count's now 1-2. As Blake had mentioned, too, Colt Morlang in left, Ethan Wilson stays in center, and now Bobby Steppe is out in right. Ian Beer stays at third, Mason Brooks is short. Cooper Morlang goes back to second base. Paxton Fisher at first. Spencer Johansson behind the plate, and Grayson Hunsley will pop this up with a pitch from Ethan Wilson up into shallow center field, and Mason Brooks will go back to make the catch and get the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. And it will bring up now the number 5 man in the order in Charlie Simpson, who was 0 for 2, hit by a pitch, and ground out and a fly out.
And I don't know if you had gone down the numbers for Smith on the mound, John, but this is his 7th appearance on the season. He's only made 1 start, so primarily they use the lefty out of the relief role. 8 2/3 innings so far this year thrown by Smith. He has an 0-1 record. He does have a save, 1 for 1 in save opportunities is Smith. Has given up 9 runs this season, 8 of them earned. 9 walks, 10 strikeouts, ERA of 6.46, whip of 2.19. So a guy and a batting average against of 312. So an opportunity for the Eights. You don't see a whole lot of lefties at the Legion level on the mound, but a guy that, has as the statistics show, gives you an opportunity to put the ball in play hard and, gives the Eights an opportunity to string a few hits together and run around a little bit.
That swing and a miss by Simpson. The count's now 2-2. Simpson will be followed by Dawson Getz. Braden Houlette is in the hole. He is also in right field in place of Gunnar Edson. As the count is at 2-2 here to Simpson. 10-3 lead here in the bottom of the fifth. The Eights are 6 outs away or 3 runs over the next couple innings to get a doubleheader sweep of Box Elder. There's a swing and a miss by Simpson. That'll be a strikeout. And there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the fifth inning, and it will bring up now Dawson Getz as he is 0 for 2, also hit by a pitch as he flew out to the right fielder and also ground out to the second baseman. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. We are in the bottom of the fifth in a Game 2-hour doubleheader. Pierre leading Box Elder 10-3. First pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. It was a run in the first, 3 in the second, 5 in the third, and 1 run in the fourth to take a 10-2 lead before Box Elder got a run to make it a 10-3 game as we stand here with 2 outs. That's flown out towards right field, and it will be Steffi to make the catch out in right field to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Tegan Smith here in the bottom of the fifth. We will head to the sixth. 10-3 lead for Pierre over Box Elder. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
The lawyers at the May Adam Law Firm in Pierre know how important your families are to you. If you've been putting off getting your affairs in order, know that the May Adam Law Firm is available to counsel you through your questions and help you get the documents in place so that you've made your loved ones secure. Call them at 224-8803 and they can chat with you about how to document your concerns and care for your family. We're all in this together, and the May Adam Law Firm is ready and able to help.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
It is the top of the sixth. Post 8 is leading 10-3 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. Cooper Twilliger with 14 pitches remaining will deal with 9-1-2. Bobby Steffi, Ian Beer, and Mason Brooks will be the first 3 hitters. Anybody reaches base. Cooper Morlang will get a chance to hit as the number 3 hitter in the batting order, but 4th up in this inning. And we'll see if Twilliger can at least get 2 outs with 13 pitches. If he can do that, he's got a chance to get through 6 innings. He's got to just make sure he's got that second out with 104 pitches in total before then having to get the final, try and get the final out of the 6 and get through 6 completes. But he will deal with Steffi to lead things off here at the top of the 6th. First pitch will be over for strike 1. Again, after we're done here tonight, we've got the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees and Sunday Night Baseball here on KCCR. The 0-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. Which if you're Yankees or Red Sox fans, you like. And if you're a fan of any other team, kind of makes you want to puke every time they're on Sunday Night Baseball. Here's the 0-2 pitch for Twilliger to Steffi. There's a swing and a foul back. And I sometimes think that the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox Sunday Night Baseball games are the reason why a pitch clock got factored into, because they would play some of the longest Sunday Night Baseball games of all time. 0-2 pitch, line shot, that's off the glove of Twilliger. He will pick it up and make a simple play to first to Buckles to retire the leadoff man. And there's one down here in the top of the 6th, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Ian Beer.
I don't know. I feel like the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry is one of, obviously a lot of history, a lot of drama between those two clubs, but I don't know. There's something nostalgic about watching those two teams play on Sunday Night Baseball. Now, if you could just get John Miller from the Bay to the East Coast, that would make it even better.
The 1-0 pitch will miss low, and the count's 2-0 here to Ian Beer. Yeah, those Sunday Night Baseball games with John Miller and Joe Morgan of the Red Sox Yankees, where I would agree with that. Those were fun games to watch. Over the last 8 years or so, just I don't call baseball boring very often, but it's kind of maybe it's more stale to me.
Yeah,
because they're trying to live in the past of especially the 03 and 04 rivalry. Those 2 years specifically, as that pitch will miss for ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk issued to Ian Beard, and brings up Mason Brooks with a runner on first and 1 out. And I think that's going to draw the line for Cooper Terwilliger, who maybe had the deal with Coach Iverson of saying if you allow a guy to reach base, you're coming out of the ball game regardless if it's in one pitch or at the end of the 105 pitches. But Terwilliger will come out. Trevor Rounds will come back in for his second appearance in the doubleheader. We'll step aside for a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Ferding Electric has a long history of doing electrical work the right way. Economical service, professional work, and customer satisfaction is why they can say that. Ferding Electric can do residential, farm, and commercial projects. Doesn't matter if they are charged with new construction or a remodel project, they get it conducted. Contact the staff at Ferding Electric at 224-8684. They can light a spark into your next project. Ferding Electric, 224-8684.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
It is going to be Trevor Rounds on the mound with the runner on at first and 1 away here in the top of the 6th. And it will be 2, 3, and 4 to deal with. Mason Brooks, Cooper Morelang, Paxton Fisher. But we'll see if maybe he can get himself a ground ball to get out of that inning, get out of this inning rather quickly. In the first game, Rounds threw an inning with 2 strikeouts. So he did not throw a whole lot of pitches in that first game in that top of the 7th. So he's able to come back in and throw again, as they will throw him, and you would assume that he will have Wednesday, Thursday off to then be set and ready to pitch again on Saturday against Harrisburg Maroon.
The shortstop, number 10, Mason
And
Brooks.
where J.J. Buckles is usually in that spot as well, and maybe this, if it's a 3-run ball game or less, maybe Buckles is the guy that comes in the game instead of Rounds, having the fact that Rounds has already pitched in the first game. This will be flown out to center field. George Staley going back, still going back, and he'll reach over his shoulder to make the catch just shy of the warning track. And a long out, number 2 in the first pitch from Trevor Rounds to Mason Brooks. And there's 2 down. A great catch out in center field by George Staley.
Yeah, that's why you put George Staley in center field. The kid has wheels for days, and he was able to track that one back to about the warning track off the bat of Brooks there and keep Beer at first base, as this one from Morelang is flown out to left field, and Sonnenschein able to make the catch. So 2 pitches and 2 outs for Trevor Rounds here in the top of the 6th, throwing up another 0 for the 8s.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on base. Efficient as efficient gets for Trevor Rounds to throw 2 pitches and get 2 outs. Back at the bottom of the 6th, after a minute break, you're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Looking for a change for a career, not just a job? Beck Motor Company of Pierre is looking for a team-oriented individual to join their parts department. We offer 401k, free individual health insurance, paid leave, a company cabin in the Black Hills, on-site gym, and more. Experience is a plus, but we'll train the right individual. If you have the ability to use a computer, provide great customer service, and willing to learn and adapt in a very busy environment, we want to visit with you. Call Steve Meyer at 605-224-5912 or stop by Beck Motors for more information.
Are you or a family member receiving Medicare calls asking if you've received your new Medicare card? This should be a red flag, as Medicare is not sending out new cards, and Medicare will not contact you to ask you about your card. If you have, or someone you know has received this type of call and they gave out their Medicare number, please contact the South Dakota Attorney General's Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986.
It is the bottom of the sixth. Both states as a 10-3 lead in the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. Braden Hulett, J.J. Buckles, and George Staley, 7-8-9 here for the Eights in this bottom of the sixth, with the Eights trying to see if they can get 3 runs here, get themselves a 10-inning win or a 10-run rule win in 6 innings, as the Eights be looking to get their second doubleheader sweep of the year and would pick up wins 4 and 5 today. They've already got win 4, make that win 5 of the season, but 4 of South Dakota games. Trying to pick up wins 4 and 5 of South Dakota games overall, and 5 and 6 of the regular season. Braden Hulett will dig back in. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat in the 4th. First pitch will miss inside for ball 1. And Hulett, Buckles, and Staley, the first 3 hitters here in the 6th.
And Braden Hulett, as a lefty, this has got to be really uncomfortable for him seeing a left-handed pitcher on the mound as well, because, as a left-handed hitter, you're used to seeing almost exclusively right-handed pitching at the Legion level. And so when you get a lefty on the mound to face you, it's almost playing a different sport entirely, as that one actually comes in and hits Hulett on the front of the shin there. But first base runner on for the Eights here in the bottom of the 6th, and that brings J.J. Buckles to the plate.
So the 7th man that's been hit in this ball game, and overall there's been 10 guys hit by a pitch. There's a balk against Tegan Smith as Hulett was off of the pitch. Smith, I think, wanted to throw the ball over to first, put his foot down, and then didn't realize that, or couldn't get himself to throw the ball over to first, and ends up just balking. And Hulett will get to second. Regardless if it's a steal or a balk, he's out at second base, and the first pitch to J.J. Buckles will be upstairs for ball 1.
They did call the balk. They did throw a timeout, but a really good job there by Hulett going on first movement, and Smith didn't realize it until it was too late. He had already started coming forward, and then he stopped because he's like, oh, the guy's going, I should throw to first, and that's illegal. You can't do that. So Hulett takes second base on that one. So it won't go down as a stolen base for Hulett, but he earned that second base right there.
2-0 pitch will be outside. The count's now 3-0 here to Buckles, and that's, as lefties, what you try and do is basically deceive the runner without truly deceiving the runner, because you can't deceive the runner. It's a balk. But you're trying to get as much as you possibly can of going home, but also going to first, because it kind of used to be if you made any movement towards home, it would be considered a balk, even if you're going to first base, as that one will be missing for ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk to Buckles, and there's 2 on and nobody out for now George Staley. Now it's, if you're going more towards first base than home, you can pretty much step diagonally towards first base and to home to throw the ball over to first and really try and get a strong pickoff move that forces a lot of guys unable to be able to steal. Both runners take off. Smith did not even look at second, so the throw will get into left field. Hulett will take off for home. The throw coming back to third. That will skip away. Buckles will stay at third base. And there's an 11-3 lead now with a runner on at third. As it's the Eights scoring that first run. Now their winning run is at third base, or is at the plate, and the Eights are in prime position here with an 11-3 lead with nobody outs in the bottom of the 6th. As Staley will, deal with a 1-0 count. Either way, he'll line that into right field, down for a base hit. J.J. Buckles will come in to score an RBI single to make it a 12-3 ball game. And Staley is 1 for 3 with an RBI now, and he represents the winning run here with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Braden Hulett really showing off the wheels and forcing the issue. And he scores the first run of the inning. And like you said, Stally lines one into right field on the pitcher two after Houlette scores and is able to make it a 12-3 ball game here with nobody out, and now the winning run on base for the Eights.
First pitch to Nolan Peterson is upstairs for ball one. We'll see how quickly maybe Stally tries to steal second to put himself into scoring position. And obviously the lefty on the mound, that makes it a little bit harder to try and steal second. A 1-0 pitch, that'll be upstairs, and the count's now 2-0. The throw back to first, and no chance of getting Stally, who has a pretty nonchalant lead over at first base. Didn't really move one way or the other when Smith was throwing the pitch. He's standing straight up right now. 2-0 pitch. Peterson will launch that out towards left center field, moving over in the gap, but off the glove of the left fielder as a runner will stay at second and Stally. Peterson was wanting to get to second, but Stally, who had to hesitate, will reach second on the error charge of the left fielder in Morlang. And it is now the winning run in the scoring position at second on the third error of the ball game by Boxelder.
Yeah, just a tough break there from Smith, throwing up an out that just does not go down in the book as an out, as Morlang misplays it out in left field. Stally moves to second. Peterson's on at first as a result. And now Sutton Sunshine steps into the box with an opportunity to give the Eights the win here in 6 innings.
Counts 1-1 here to Sunshine. The 1-1 pitch, a half swing, but a full swing by Sunshine. The count's now 1-2. And failed to mention, too, on that play where Houlette stole third and ended up scoring, it was also an error charge of the catcher on the throw, and Johansson that scored the run, so it's already the second error of the inning. As that one will be off the glove of the catcher, Johansson. The throw will go to third. It will skip into left field, and that's going to end the ball game. Stally will glide in to score, and it ends up being 3 errors of the inning by the Boxelder post-315 team, and runs will a 3-run score in the bottom of the 6th, and that will end the ball game. A 13-3 win for Post 8 in game number 2. Roll 8s for a second time today. A 13-3 win for Pierre. Back in 2 minutes to wrap it up from Hyatt Stadium. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back. The sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Tons Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Tons Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Tons Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Tons Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs!
For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones financial advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
As we welcome you back here, Post 8 wins it over Box Elder 13-3 in a doubleheader sweep over Box Elder. That was a game number 2 finish. Game 1, Post 8 will win it 11-2. But it will be 13 runs on just 4 hits. There was an error and 8 men left on base for Pierre. 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors, and 9 men left on base for Box Elder, who hits and walked almost just about 20 guys in the ball game.
16 total.
16, yeah, total between the two. As Cooper Twilliger hit the win, going 5 1/3 innings, giving up just those 3 hits and 3 runs on 6 hits. Trevor Rouse got the final 2 outs on 2 pitches, so he barely threw more than 10 pitches and getting 5 outs in 2 different games. Will Waddell will pick up the loss. He gave up 9 runs, 7 of them earned, and make that 4 of them earned in a 2 2/3 innings on just 2 hits. As time of the ball game was 2 hours and 3 minutes, and Blake, you take wins however you can get them. Obviously, the Eights didn't have a whole lot of hits, but they got a lot of base runners because there's a lot of walks between the two. They scored 24 runs on just 10 hits in 2 games. You take wins however you can get them, and pitching-wise, Post 8 was good. Hitting-wise, Post 8 had quality at-bats that got a lot of walks, and the Eights were good overall today to get the doubleheader sweep.
Yeah, just a gritty win in 2 games for the Eights, both in Game 1 and Game 2. You look at the statistics up and down the lineup for both games. Like you said, 24 runs on 10 hits. 10 hits in a doubleheader in most cases is not gonna win you a lot of ball games. But the nice thing about that is when you're given the opportunity to take advantage of free bases, whether it's via the base on ball or the hit by pitch, which happened, like you said, 16 times here in Game 2. You know, quite a few more overall. I didn't do the math in Game 1, but when you are given free bases by the opposition, you take advantage of that if you're any team, and the Eights were able to do that today. You come away with a 13-3 win, like you said, 13 runs on just 4 hits, 2 of them coming off the bat of J.J. Buckles, who went 2 for 3. Scored 3 runs in the ball game. Nolan Peterson matched him with 3 runs as well. 3 walks for Sutton Sonnenschein, 2 apiece for Carter Scheffelbein and Nolan Peterson. J.J. Buckles had 2 RBI as well as his 2 hits. Scheffelbein also had a double. 6 guys were hit by pitch in Game 2. Peterson was hit twice. Houlette, Simpson, Getz, Hunsley, and Stalley were also hit by a pitch as well. So, like I said, going to be a gritty doubleheader sweep, and the Eights are going to have quite a few bruises going into their Wednesday doubleheader against the Post 22 Expos on Wednesday. But regardless, they pick up 2 more wins, and they now have 6 wins in the left-handed win column as they move into this back half of the season. And like I said, like we talked about too, this is a big momentum boost. If they can continue to build on this positive momentum toward the latter half of the year, they will set themselves up to be in a really positive position come playoff time if they continue to stack wins on top of each other.
So the Eights to get those 2 wins against Box Elder, now 6-20 on the regular season and 5-12 in South Dakota games. They will take on the Post 22 Expos on Wednesday with the travel to Bismarck then on Thursday. And we'll have games for you here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. We'll start coverage at 2:45 on Wednesday between Pierre and Rapid City Post 22. The Expos are in town. It's not the Hard Hats. It will be the Expos that will come to town on Wednesday and then go to take on the Bismarck Governors on Thursday up in Bismarck. So that will wrap things up for us here from Hyatt Stadium. We'll get you out to coverage of the Red Sox and Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball here on KCCR. I want to say thanks to Jacob Mayer back at the station, Blake Dean, John Winkler here, wrapping things up. Post 8 will win a doubleheader over Box Elder, 11-2 in Game 1, 13-3 in Game 2, as we say so long from Hyatt Stadium.
You've been listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post 8 Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, Bank West, Nystrom Electric, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, American Family Insurance, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Cons Electric, Edward Jones Financial, CHS River Plains, Wagner Auto, Jaeger, Faith Lutheran Church, Leinbach Construction, First Dakota National Bank, Avera, Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Shane's Pharmacy, Gales Gas, Oahe Federal Credit Union, May Adam, Fisher Rounds, Ferding Electric, True Green Chemlawn, Beck Motors, the South Dakota Office of the Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Kruger Contracting, Egtegra, AGE Corporation Ready Mix, Stulkin Peterson LLP. Join us all season for Post-8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront Broadcasting Sports, Central South Dakota's sports